Elite Facts presents
5 times method actors took their role too far.
5.
Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. We all know the tragic story of Heath Ledger. It's such a shame considering what an amazing actor he was, and how nice of a person he apparently was in real life. Heath Ledger is most well known for his role as the Joker in the 2008 blockbuster hit The Dark Knight. In preparation for the role, Ledger decided that the best way to get into character was for him to actually be the Joker. In 2005, during the production of Batman Begins, director Christopher Nolan actually wanted Ledger to play Bruce Wayne. Although he was unsuccessful in his efforts, Ledger did agree to appear in the film's sequel, taking on the role of the clown prince of crime. He described his Joker as a, quote, psychopathic, mass-murdering, schizophrenic clown with zero empathy. When Ledger saw Batman Begins, he realized a way to make the character work that was consistent with the film's tone. During the months leading up to filming, Ledger prepared for the role by spending almost a month locked up in a hotel room, spending almost all of his time experimenting with different voices he could use for the Joker, and kept a diary in which he would write down his thoughts and feelings as if he was truly the Joker. As we're sure you all know, Ledger unfortunately passed away from an accidental prescription drug overdose not too long after filming for The Dark Knight was completed. Our deepest condolences go out to the friends and family of Heath Ledger. 4. Robert De Niro, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, The Untouchables, and Cape Fear. We all know Robert De Niro is the OG of method acting. He's known for always going all out. Sure, you'll frequently see actors taking up jobs similar to those of their characters in order to prepare them for a particular role. However, not only does Robert De Niro do that, like when he took a cab driver job to prepare for Taxi Driver, or when he took boxing lessons to prepare for his role as Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull, but he's also known for going out of his way to physically change himself to suit the role he's playing. When taking the role of a larger character, most actors would simply wear a fat suit. Not Robert De Niro. De Niro put on a record 60 pounds during the production of Raging Bull just for the later scenes in the film, although this record was later broken by Vincent D'Onofrio, who gained 70 pounds for his role as Private Pyle in Full Metal Jacket. De Niro attempted this massive weight gain again for his role as Al Capone in the 1989 film The Untouchables, but he didn't have enough time to gain the weight he needed to before the film's production started, so he was forced to wear pads in order to get the desired effect, and we're sure De Niro was probably very unhappy about this, given his penchant for method acting. That's okay though, because De Niro made up for it by tracking down Al Capone's actual tailor in order to get custom identical suits that Capone would have worn back in the Prohibition era. It doesn't stop there, as De Niro would continue to physically change himself in future roles, including for his role as Max Cady in the 1991 Martin Scorsese film Cape Fear. For this role, De Niro worked out extensively during the months leading up to the film's production, gaining massive amounts of muscle and dropping down to having a mere 3% body fat. On top of that, he tattooed a majority of his body with vegetable dye, meaning the tattoos wouldn't fade away for a few months. However, probably the most drastic change he underwent for this role in the months leading up to filming was what he did to his teeth. De Niro paid his dentist to purposefully grind his teeth and screw them down so they would stay in place throughout the film's production. Any idea how much it cost him to make this alteration to his teeth? $20,000. Hopefully he got reimbursed for that.
3.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Gangs of New York. Much like Robert De Niro, Daniel Day-Lewis is considered a method actor and a master of his craft. No matter what role he takes up, he always goes all out in terms of getting into character. This isn't just for a select few films. He takes drastic approaches to getting into character for every film he's in. For example, he would only eat the food he killed himself while on the set of The Last Mohicans. He would never get up from his wheelchair during the production of My Left Foot, and he didn't bathe for the entirety of shooting The Crucible in order to get the feeling of what it was like to live by the 17th century standards. One of the most famous and, quite frankly, most dangerous roles he's taken on was his role as William Cutting in the Martin Scorsese film Gangs of New York. During filming, Day-Lewis decided that the best way for him to keep his performance true to his character throughout production would be to live his life as a person actually living in that time period. The three-time Oscar winner's devotion to his craft nearly cost him his health on this one, as he refused to wear a modern-day winter coat on set during filming and caught pneumonia. To portray Bill the Butcher, he also flew in a British butcher to teach him how to cut up carcasses. No big deal. Even though DayLewis was adamant about continuing to live like someone from that time period, he was told by medical professionals on set that if he didn't get treatment soon, he'd be dead before the film production wrapped up. Ouch.
2.
Malcolm McDowell, A Clockwork Orange. A Clockwork Orange is considered by many to be the quintessential Stanley Kubrick film. It's set in a dystopian future where young adults have the freedom to roam the streets, beating up on other gangs and assaulting women as they please. It's a disturbing insight into the possibilities of a youth culture gone wrong. The highlight of this film is, without a doubt, the main protagonist, Alex DeLarge, fantastically portrayed by Malcolm McDowell. In what is arguably the most famous scene in the whole film, Alex DeLarge is strapped down to a chair and forced to watch dirty and violent movies while being fed intravenous drugs meant to give him nausea, with the hope that the result would be an association between the nausea and the violence, thus being forever averse to doing such bad things. You'll probably best remember that scene for the sharp metal hooks he had forcing his eyelids open so he couldn't look away. Well, that was no special effect, as Malcolm McDowell requested that they use legitimate equipment for this scene. As a result of filming this scene in that manner, McDowell actually suffered serious injuries to his eyes, scratching his cornea and even becoming temporarily blind. That's just crazy.
1.
Christian Bale, The Machinist. Christian Bale is, without a doubt, one of the most dedicated method actors in the industry today, even more dedicated than Robert De Niro and Daniel Day-Lewis. That alone should say a lot about his acting ability. Disagree? Well, consider the fact that the 6-foot-tall actor dropped 60 pounds from his already relatively light-looking appearance, making him a measly 121 pounds in order to more accurately portray his character in The Machinist. That is just insane. And as if that wasn't enough, he then quickly had to gain the weight back, as well as a drastic amount of muscle mass, in order to play the role of Batman in the 2005 Batman Begins film. Then he lost it again for Rescue Dawn, gained it back for The Dark Knight, and then dropped back down to 145 pounds for The Fighter. As insane as his weight gain and loss is, you've got to admire his dedication to his craft, and his hard work eventually paid off with a very deserved Academy Award for The Fighter.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.